What's good? What's good? Crypto fam. How's it going? Live stream, Crypto News Alerts 2.0. Let's go. Let me know who's just tuning in. Hit up the live chat. We are live in the flesh right now. JV here with Crypto News Alerts. Good to see everybody. We're going to get this show started in just a few moments. If you're just joining us, be sure to share this across social media, crypto Twitter, you name it. Spread the word. All right, let's do the thing. Sounds like we're good to go, so let's rock. JV here with an episode of Crypto News Alerts. We're now live in the flesh, which is awesome. We got multiple cameras in the studio. I got the acoustic panels here and all, which are going to be going up on the walls later on this week. But nonetheless, let's kick right off into it because there's a lot to cover. Let's break it down. So in today's show, we're going to be discussing why the crypto market is down right now. We dropped literally like over $1,000 in a matter of hours, and we have increased Bitcoin volatility because of the jobs data exceeding expectations. We have El Salvador president on Bitcoin. He says if El Salvador succeeds, many countries are to follow. Also, back in 2011, Bitcoin fell to a low of $20. 2015, 4 years later, 10x, $200 low. 2017, $2,000 low. Again, a factor of 10x every time for the low. And in 2022, we naturally fell below 20,000, hitting a low of 17,500. But as you can see, if history rhymes, in the next 2 to 5 years, we can potentially see a 10x Bitcoin floor of $200,000, which would be exciting as all heck to see. And Plan B, I'll be sharing the latest updates regarding, stock to flow model, the halving cycle, which is very relevant and very important, especially at this stage in the market. Of course, the next halving set to occur in 2024. The year following the halving is when we go absolutely parabolic, and that's when things get very, very exciting. So also, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin and gold facing headwinds amid strengthening dollar, of course, as well as FTX and Visa major partnership to permit crypto payments in 40 countries. This is the reason FTX token has been pumping today. I'll be breaking all this down for you. I mean, that's great for crypto adoption. Also, I'll be sharing the latest regarding the SEC and XRP lawsuit with Ripple's labs, so you can see what's going on with the latest. Now, this is trending and breaking right now. Everyone's talking about it, and that's BNB Chain suspends the network following a $100 million hack. In fact, it was like an insane amount of money. Even Binance had to report here, we suspend all deposits and withdrawals via BNB Chain temporarily until there are further updates. Now, allegedly, there was 1 million in BNB tokens that was attempted to be hacked, total in value of $586 million, which is absolutely insane to think about. We're talking about a $500 million hack. However, from my understanding, I think the hackers got roughly $100 million worth of the crypto. Also, we'll be discussing this with Dogecoin. One analyst says it's going to explode, which is always interesting to cover predictions, which I love to cover, which are always fun. So I'll be breaking this down for you here. Also, Dennis Porter says he believes his views on Bitcoin remain unchanged. $1 million plus per coin, inevitable. And speaking of a $1 million Bitcoin price, naturally, I'm going to be covering this story as well. Bitcoin to surpass $12 million by 2031, fueled by the collapsing dollar, says Ex-Hedge fund manager, which is pretty cool. We're referring to Robert Breedlove, so I'll be breaking this down for you as well. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, which again, this is in real time. This is not pre-recorded and edited like the old version. This is Crypto News Alerts version 2.0, live and in the flesh. So the prices you see are the actual prices. You also even notice, which is pretty cool, a live Bitcoin feed, so you can monitor the Bitcoin price throughout the whole length of this feed. So with that all being said, Let's break it down. If you're just joining us, make sure to share this all over social media, as we do have a lot to cover. So with all that being said, today's episode is brought to you by BlockFi. They have been a sponsor here of the show going on for 2 years, so much respect to BlockFi. They just launched their BlockFi Private Client, which is a personalized approach to crypto wealth management. You can negotiate custom crypto interest rates, which is pretty cool. And when it comes to borrowing money, they have competitive loan rates where you can use your crypto as collateral. One of the advantages of this is you can avoid credit checks and all the shenanigans of the traditional way of borrowing money. Also, you can negotiate a personalized loan to value and APR when borrowing six figures, $100,000 plus. And of course, there is no prepayment penalty. They also have a pretty spectacular trading platform, which I do love. So this is innovative crypto services, custom tailored for your goals. They offer dedicated white glove service, robust risk management, as well as transparency you can trust. So if you're not already signed up for BlockFi, use the link in the description right down below and take advantage of it today. Now, with that being said, let's kick off this next segment of the show, and let's get right into the markets. Obviously, right now we're in a downtrend, which is interesting. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's do a little bit of TA. So why exactly are the markets down right now? There's three main reasons we're going to touch upon. Number one, the Federal Reserve interest rate hikes. As you know, raising interest rates increases the cost for consumers and businesses, and this has a knock-on effect of raising business operational costs, the cost of goods and services, production costs, wages, and eventually the cost of everything like we're witnessing here this year. High, unsuppressible inflation is the primary reason the U.S. Fed is raising these interest rates, and since rate hikes began in March of 2022, Bitcoin and the broader crypto markets have been witnessing a pretty massive correction. And yes, if you're joining right now, this is version 2.0 of Crypto News Alerts podcast episode number 1067. I'm your host, JV, and with version 2.0, we're live in real time in the flesh. So make sure to blow up the comments if you appreciate the show now being live, versus what I used to do is pre-record and then edit. And it was quite the process. And then I would premiere live. But now at version 2.0, as of episode 1067, we are live in the flesh and in real time. So if you're excited about that, holla at your boy in the comments below. Now, the second reason we're witnessing a down crypto market today is the persistent threat of regulation. You've been hearing them talk about this for a long time. The crypto industry and regulators have a long history of not getting along, as we obviously know. You have like Biden saying we need crypto regulation. Like Biden knows anything about crypto in the first place. It's all just really a huge joke at the end of the day. So the lack of clarity on this matter weighs in on the growth and innovation within the sector. And the third factor is scams and Ponzi's triggered liquidations, which repeat. And this destroys investors' confidence. Unfortunately, like stories like today, which I'm going to be covering with you here a little shortly, like the Binance hack, we're talking about $500 million hack. It doesn't make people feel too comfortable with keeping their crypto, especially on exchanges. This is why we say every so often, of course, you need to take your crypto off the exchanges, put it in cold storage where it is protected. At least you don't want your crypto in a honeypot. And we actually witness this a lot in the industry, where absolutely your crypto could end up getting stolen. It just becomes basically an attack vector, and you don't want your crypto to be a target at the end of the day. So we need to protect that. So just do keep that in mind. So we also had the implosion of Terra's Luna and Celsius network, as well as the misuse of leverage. A lot of people over leverage and paying the price. That's why when you see all these liquidations, it's insane. Literally hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars being wiped out, because at the end of the day, the market maker is going to win. And as Terra and Luna collapsed on itself, the Bitcoin price corrected pretty sharply due to multiple liquidations occurring within the Terra and investor sentiment when that did tank. So how many of you were actually, it would be actually interesting to hear, how many of you were actually holding Terra/Luna or USDT when all these shenanigans occurred? And also, how many of you are currently holding the Binance coin, BNB? Let me know in the comments below. And does it ever concern you, for those of you who keep your crypto on the exchanges, that it is a threat to potential hackers? Let me know. So I also wanted to discuss some of the highlights here, pulled out here for why we have the increased volatility right now. Note that numbers for September, we also call September, and we call it September because typically it is the most historically bearish month for the crypto markets. So that's why we say September, but ironically enough, the biggest bearish month in history is always followed by the most bullish month we call October, aka October, which is what we're in. And historically, October, we see about a 28% increase in the Bitcoin price. So if we were to increase 28% roughly from where we're at for this month, that would put the Bitcoin price at about I'd say $25,000 to $26,000 per BTC. How many of you feel that Bitcoin is likely to continue rising? Obviously, we just crashed back under that critical psychological $20,000 support, so anything is possible. But I'd love to know by a show of hands or in the comments, how many of you believe that this month will overall be bullish by the end of the month, and we could potentially see a $25,000 plus Bitcoin price? And to the contrary, how many of you think that the market is more likely to continue to break down, potentially hitting a double bottom? We've already bottomed at roughly $17,500. But we could obviously go a lot lower at any time, so do keep that in mind. Willie Woo said max pain for him, worst case scenario, would be a $10,000 Bitcoin price, meaning the Bitcoin price getting split in half yet again. Which would be interesting if that did happen. But now let's actually go over the live charts in the markets. You can see Bitcoin down 3% for the day, trading just under $19,500. We have Ethereum down 2.6%, trading just above $1,300. We have Binance Coin down only 4% after a major hack, not too shabby, still trading at $282. We have XRP, one of the few top coins actually in the green for today, trading now just under 52 cents, up 3.6% for the day. And the rest of the market is pretty much all correcting and in the red. And checking out the crypto market cap, let's get a refresh for the latest numbers here. It's at $942 billion right now in real time. We have about 54 billion in volume. The volume has been pretty low as of recent. And the Bitcoin dominance back on the decline at 39.6%, with the Ether dominance at 17.2%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past 24 hours, 1inch Network leading the pack, up literally 6%, trading just under 62 cents, followed by STEPN coin, GMT, which is up 4% for the day, trading just above 65 cents, followed by eCash, up almost 4%, trading at virtually nothing. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past week, you can see a mixture, but mostly in the red overall. Ethereum wrap down a whopping 32% and bleeding, while we have Casper up 22%, Maker up 14.9%, and Elrond up approximately 14%. And checking out one of my favorite indicators, it's the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, shows we're currently rated a 23 out of 100. In extreme fear, yesterday a 26, last week a 21, and last month a 24 in extreme fear. So those are the latest within the crypto markets. Let me know if you're currently bullish or bearish short term for the King Crypto. And with that being said, we already covered pretty much the basics of the technical analysis, so we're actually going to skip past this. And again, this is my first time with this setup as of today, so please bear with me as I'm the main producer in charge here. Let's move on to our next story of the day, and that's Visa's partnership with FTX, which is pretty interesting, and especially when it comes to mass global adoption as the Bitcoin game theory is in full effect. So here's what we have surrounding this story. Spending crypto may become a lot easier. FTX, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, has partnered with payments giant Visa, OSNAP, to roll out their debit card in 40 countries worldwide. And I'm actually, being this is my first time doing a live stream here, I actually do want to check and just make sure that I am live and clear. I'm going to check some of the comments. Wow, looks great, brother. I see all in the comments. So everyone can see and hear me loud and clear. This is important. Let me know as I have this pulled up here in the chat. We will do a live Q&A in just a little bit, a little later on in the show. Welcome, Johnny Midas. Welcome, Dan Drummond. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Reg. We got the whole crew. Mark G. We got Candace Stevens. We got Bing Bang, ESP. We got Paul. We got Tellen. It is great to see you all. So I'm going to assume everyone can see and hear me loud and clear, and let's continue with our story. So yeah, the move would allow FTX users to pay for goods and services using debit cards that boast zero fees. How many of you would like to use a card without any fees? Pretty cool. Plus, card ownership is absolutely free. According to the company website, we have SBF, the most influential person in crypto, according to Cointelegraph's top 100. He has long touted his desire to unveil an FTX debit card, and it's finally here. His company's decision to partner with legacy payment rails, as opposed to the crypto payments rails, such as the Lightning Network, aligns with his view that the future of Bitcoin as payment network is not viable. Interesting, right? I wonder why he wouldn't just use the Lightning Network. But obviously, he is in cahoots with traditional finance, which is no secret. The FTX token spiked 7% on that news. It's still up roughly 4% for the day, reaching highs of $25.62. The token's all-time high, though, do note, is way off at almost $80, so still a long ways to go. And here you can see the chart over the past 24 hours for FTX. And for Visa, the development world rival of competitors MasterCard, recent forays into crypto, we have Chief Financial Officer. He said, even though the values have come down, there is still steady interest in crypto, referring to the 2022 bear market. Now, I personally think anything to do with more crypto adoption is a good thing as the masses do get onboarded into the industry. I think this is critical and important, and I do believe that the game theory is in full effect. Visa has to partner. MasterCard has to partner. American Express, they have to partner with their payment rails or they will get left behind. If they don't adapt to the Bitcoin movement, sorry, goodbye. You're not going to exist, and eventually you will become extinct. So it is what it is. It's like get with the times or get left behind. I like Jack Mallers' take when he breaks down the payment rails like he did at the Bitcoin conference in Miami in 2022. Earlier this year, I think that was back in early April. How many of you actually attended that event? Let me know. I was there and I actually had a pretty good time. But now let's break down our next story of the day and let's get on to some XRP versus the SEC in this long-winded lawsuit, which has been getting dragged out. So we have Ripple Labs protesting that the US SEC moved to block third-party evidence in the lawsuit. The regulatory agency filed against them, and according to the evidence procured by defense lawyer James Fillon, Ripple recently penned a letter to the judge Torres saying that the SEC is mischaracterizing the law by moving the contest third-party briefs submitted by iRemit and TapJets, quoting them here. The SEC mischaracterizes both the briefs and the law when it claims that the proffered amicus briefs of iRemit and TapJets constitute improper attempts by the movements to offer evidence outside of discovery restrictions, the rules of evidence, and of the court's prior order. The iRemit and TapJets are independent third parties, otherwise unconnected with this legislation. They seek permission to file briefs offered to the court their important perspective on whether industry participants invested in XRP, whether they expected profits from defendants' efforts, and how the SEC's theory of this case, if adopted by the court, would adversely impact their businesses. They provide the court with information concerning their business operations and industries to support their perspectives. There is nothing wrong with that. So there you have it. And now let's discuss why this court case is so important for the entire crypto industry at large. And the reason for it is there's a lot riding on this. The SEC is obviously overreaching their power in the crypto industry. They're not providing any clarity. Gary Gensler is pretty much useless. So we still don't have any clarity or regulation for crypto adoption, but that's all strategically by design. If you read between the lines, they're obviously trying to push this back, something in alignment with their CBDC rollout. So they don't want positive crypto sentiment right now in the industry. So they're making everything unclear, because when things are unclear, it creates what we would refer to as uncertainty in the market, which creates more fear, which is why they're able to control things like the way that they do. And depending upon if XRP is considered a security or a bridge currency, obviously we all know it's not really a security. The SEC themselves have called it not a security, but now they want to call it a security so they can go after much more and continue overreaching into the industry, which overall I don't think is necessarily a good thing. I think clarity and regulation could be good for the mass adoption, but at the same time they're using it against us, and it just kind of is what it is at the end of the day. So what are your thoughts surrounding this case? Do you feel it will end anytime soon? Potentially before the end of this year. It would be nice to get a ruling very clearly and definitively. Is XRP a security, yes or no? But I have a pretty good feeling that SEC is just going to continue attacking other cryptocurrencies. They also recently have stated, and they never stated this before the Ethereum merge, but now they're saying that now that Ethereum has transitioned from a proof of work to a proof of stake, that it is now considered a security. And imagine Ethereum and all these ERC20 tokens, it's going to be fair play for the SEC. That's why I think it's important personally that XRP win this case. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. But let's continue here. So yeah, private jet riding sharing service Tap Jets and remittances company iRemit initially asked to service the amicus curiae, if I'm pronouncing that right, or friends of the court on October 4th. Amicus curiae can submit documents to the court known as amicus briefs as long as they contain relevant info about the case and are accepted by the court beforehand. Now, just 2 days later, the SEC objected to the firm's joining the case, saying that it was an attempt to introduce evidence into the case outside the traditional constraints of discovery. And according to Ripple, the SEC had no business in suing them in the first place if they can't handle evaluating amicus briefs that attempt to refute their claims. Now, the SEC has sought summary judgment based on what it erroneously claims are undisputed facts that every purchase of XRP is an investment and that every XRP purchaser expects profits from Ripple's efforts. Nothing could be more to the point than these two amicus briefs refuting or at least disputing both points. So if the SEC cannot evaluate the veracity of such claims, then it had no business bringing this litigation in the first place. And the SEC first sued Ripple. This was back in late 2020. The crypto market started pumping, and I feel bad for the XRP holders as they missed out on that bull run, and the price has been suppressed ever since. And just more recently, the price action has been breaking out as we are now back above 50 cents, which you can see here in the chart. XRP still up 4%. And trading now at a high over the recent months, now at 51.5 cents. And I would expect this to continue pumping if news starts or continues to go good for XRP and Ripple versus the SEC. So with that being shared, let's now, before I discuss the Binance hack, which is the most trending story in crypto right now that everyone's talking about, let me just recheck this chat and make sure you guys are good. What's good, BitBud? Can you see and hear me loud and clear? Want to make sure my microphone is good to go and I'm not cutting out at all. We got the acoustic panels around the walls in the room. Hopefully that helped with the sound as well, so you guys get a better streaming experience. Joe Upper Bucks, I hope they win. Me too. I mean, there's this whole crypto industry is riding on this case, is what it seems like. Dragon Flowers is not an XRP holder or a fan, but I am rooting for them to win this. That's what's up, brother. OG, welcome. Always a pleasure. Says hit that like button. The greatest compliment you can do to help my show right now, if you're appreciating the work putting into this with the new live show and the fact that we are live in the flesh. This is not a pre-recorded show. As of today, this is live in real time. There's a live Bitcoin price feed if you appreciate that. If you like me ranting live, unedited, uncensored, show some love. Hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, turn on all notifications. It's the greatest compliment you can do, because if you don't do that, YouTube doesn't spread the love. And my mission and why I started the show, it's very important because I want to spread self-sovereignty to the rest of the planet. Right now, I couldn't think of a more doomed time for humanity, but at the same time, I couldn't think of a more optimistic time for humanity because we have the antidote to the CBDCs. Because CBDCs, you know this, fam, it's slavery at the end of the day. If we go to CBDCs, it's programmable money by central banks and governments that caused this mess in the first place. You know what I mean? They could completely control you by the money. If you don't have access to your money and they can shut you off because you have an opposing view, or you're an advocate of Bitcoin and they decide to attack you, you're done. How are you going to feed your family? You need to be stacking sats. You need to be holding Bitcoin, because this is the antidote to the CBDCs. This is what they don't want. This is why they're trying to suppress Bitcoin, trying to suppress crypto, and they're just trying to get basically a gridlock and control over us. But the good news is they can't control us, especially if you're a Bitcoin holder, because it's peer-to-peer. There's no central authority. And just say no to CBDCs when they come out. If you're in crypto, don't ever be pro-CBDC. We have to speak up. We've been speaking out about this for a very long time, since we have known about, the evil agendas and plans, for the elite to conquer Earth and ultimately put us in a prison planet. So if you want to escape the matrix, there isn't a better way to do that than just stack sats. And I think we're in a great buy opportunity, sub $20,000, and we're going to have a lot more opportunities as well. So smash that like, share this show, get the word out, spread lots of love, stay on it to the very end, of course, as well. That's only going to help spread the love as well. So safe haven assets at times like this are very, very important, especially for the future of humanity. With that being said, let's get now into the BNB hack that everyone is talking about. Let's break this story down right here. So here we go. BNB chain, the blockchain of crypto exchange Binance, which is the largest exchange in the world, FYI, on October 6th, which was that yesterday. Due to an exploit on its CrossChain bridge, attackers made off with an estimated $100 million worth of crypto. Talk about a come up. The official Twitter account of the BNB chain first announced a temporary pause due to irregular activity on the blockchain, but soon after added it was due to a possible exploit. Binance provided an update that the blockchain was under maintenance, suspending all deposits to withdrawals, which I read for you a little earlier. BNB chain under maintenance. We will suspend all deposits and withdrawals via BNB chain temporarily until there are further updates, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you for your patience. And rumors had already swirled on crypto Twitter that the network had undergone a significant hack, with on-chain analytics showing alleged hackers exploiting roughly 2 million BNB coins, the chain's native token, a value of $600 million. Holy moly. So this is pretty serious. As shared here, apparently 2 huge reward claims with each claiming 1 million BNB, and in total 586 million, and that's during a bear market, fam. Only imagine what that would be, oh my God, at a new all-time high, right? We're talking billions of dollars. Claim from its token hub, as shared here. A later update by the BNB chain developer on Reddit confirmed the exploit had taken place, stating that the initial estimates for the value of the exploit are between 100 and 110 million, with roughly $7 million frozen. BNB chain said the exploit, which was perpetrated on the BSC token hub, resulted in the creation of extra BNB, but reassured the public that its systems are contained and user funds are safe while it continues to investigate the vulnerability. So that's good news, first and foremost. Let's touch upon that real quick, that nobody lost their particular coins. Also note that Binance Coin is a multi-billion-dollar exchange. It's the largest exchange in the world. It's the biggest. It's even bigger than FTX. They've been around a very long time as well. So this is nothing. They probably have billions upon billions in reserves. And also, though it sounds doomy and gloomy, I look at it as a positive. They prevented it from being $500 million, and at least they're onto it so they can prevent this from happening in the future. And again, if no one lost their tokens at the end of the day, that means they have it under control, and it will probably just come as a loss to the company, I would imagine. But anyways, let's get back. An exploit on CrossChain Bridge BSC token hub resulted in extra BNB. We have asked the validators to temporarily suspend it. The issue is contained. Your funds are safe. Very important note right there. Your funds are safe. We apologize for the inconvenience and will provide further updates accordingly. And as I pointed out earlier, the Binance coin didn't really drop much as a result. It's only down 3% for the day, which is not bad considering it's a pretty extensive hack. So it's still trading, above $280, which is good. Now, what else should we share here? The initial on-chain analysis by Twitter users before the official announcement showed the attacker claimed a 1 million BNB reward through the token hub before depositing the balance into the DeFi lending platform Venus Protocol. Then they borrowed 150 million worth of stablecoins. It's interesting to see what hackers do after they steal that amount of money. So they borrowed 150 million worth of stablecoins and spread it across USD Coin, Tether, and Binance USD using bridges to swap the token for Ethereum, Phantom Protocol tokens, and Polygon before the Binance chain was paused, as shared here. Before the BNB chain halt, attackers successfully transferred 57 million to Phantom, 53 million to Ethereum, 400,000 to Polygon Matic. So there you have it. Now the attacker again exploited another 1 million BNB, which they placed into Stargate Protocol, another cross-chain bridge provider. We have Zane Huffman, strategy lead at DeFi platform Vesper, who concluded the attacker has made off with roughly 100 million from the initial exploit of nearly $600 million. The figure later provided right here. The attacker's next moves will probably pull out ETH out of the bridges back to the main net and then Tornado. They have about $45 million in ETH on the main net and another 20 million in bridges, including Avalanche and Phantom. Now, with over-collateralized ETH borrowers, they may get $100 million max. Again, like, whoa. Huffman added that the attacker had roughly over $400 million worth of digital assets frozen on the Binance chain. So thank God they realized it when they did, because this could have been a $600 million hack at the end of the day. Now, stablecoin provider Tether also blacklisted the addresses associated with the exploit. So what are your thoughts surrounding this story? Do you feel that the hackers can get away with this? Or do you feel that they will eventually get caught with the freezing of the funds and trace it down and get in trouble? Let me know your honest thoughts. Typically in crypto, if you get away with it, I mean, there's just so many ways for crypto to disappear. So it's always interesting to see. But with that story being shared, now let's get into Dogecoin. I rarely cover Doge here on the channel because number one, I'm not a Doge holder. I just want to throw that out there. Number two, I'm not a huge fan of the coin from a development perspective. However, I know it's a meme coin, and I know Elon is the most influential person on the planet. And I know when he does things like buy Twitter, which is in talks again, that he's purchasing it and going through with it, that things like Dogecoin are likely to pump and continue to pump, regardless of a use case, just because Elon is potentially forcing people to verify their Twitter accounts with Dogecoin. So I thought it would be interesting to share this Dogecoin prediction with you all. So let's get right into this. Here we go. A widely followed crypto analyst is expressing bullish sentiment on the 10th largest digital asset by market cap. Smart contractor who predicted the 2018 bottom 6 months before it dropped tells his 211,000 Twitter followers that Doge is currently undergoing massive accumulation. And you can probably hear the thunder here in Puerto Rico. It's a little gloomy here out here. But anyways, he wrote here, Doge/BTC has the most insane looking high time frame accumulation going on. I haven't seen something that looks such clean like this accumulation in a long time. I dare say revisiting this in a year time, Doge will be a lot higher than 6.5 cents. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. Now, Doge is currently trading at roughly 6.4 cents. So smart contractor's prediction coincides with crypto analytics firm Sentiment, who I was actually on their live show earlier this morning. How many of you were on there? Let me know. It was pretty cool. But they claim Dogecoin whale transactions and funding rates have risen in the recent, as they share here, quoting Sentiment. Dogecoin is up a solid 9% in the past day and a half. And the meme coin is still ranked as the 10th largest market cap asset in crypto. Whale transactions and funding rates have just spiked, which are two great predictors of price direction change. And you can see here, Doge whale transfers spike in funding rates as they go ultra long, just as the local top is hit. And again, this is probably based upon Elon news of purchasing Twitter, I would imagine. Online brokerage app Robinhood currently owns the address holding the largest amount of Dogecoin. So again, the app Robinhood is the biggest hodler of Dogecoin, a stash worth $2.5 billion, which is nearly a third of the total supply. So how many of you are actually hodling Doge or bullish on Doge, whether it be because you like the crypto, you like the meme, or you just like Elon and you think it can pump and you can potentially earn a lot of money by holding it? Let me know your honest and sincere thoughts in the comments right down below. And with that being shared, now let's get into some predictions of a 7-figure Bitcoin price. I feel it's inevitable. So the real question is, when will Bitcoin realistically hit $1 million? And heck, when will Bitcoin hit $12 million? Because Robert Breedlove made that bold prediction. So first and foremost, let's get back here. I want to share this tweet by Dennis Porter. He says, my views, and you let me know in the comments below, when do you feel realistically, like genuinely, that Bitcoin will hit $1 million? Throw the year out there. I'd love to know, and I'm going to read those comments later. My views on Bitcoin remain unchanged. $1 million plus per coin is inevitable. And Ari Paul responded, nothing is inevitable. Dennis responded, you are right. If the Earth falls out of orbit and into the sun, then yes, maybe Bitcoin won't hit $1 million. And then Ari says, or are we just going to repeat what more serious consequences of what happened 3 years ago with Bitmain controlling ASIC production and slipping in hardware backdoors? Or next sovereign won't just force relocation, but confiscate hash power. Don't pretend the risk aren't real. And Dennis responded, you should be more worried about the asteroid hitting Earth and wiping out humankind, or an alien overlord showing up and breaking all of our cryptography. What then? He makes a great point. And Ari responded, why? I think we should all be more worried about the probable risk that we've already seen in our world, I guess he means. Your wild statement would be inaccurate if you had experienced 5 near asteroid collisions in the last 5 years. This is, I think, taking it a little too far with the asteroids and what could potentially happen. But nonetheless, we all know $1 million is inevitable. So with that being said, let's get into this $12 million Bitcoin price prediction by Robert Breedlove, the founder of crypto investment firm Parallax Digital. He suggests Bitcoin stands a big chance of recording a significant spike in the future, mainly driven by a drop in the purchasing power of the United States dollar, which makes a lot of sense considering hyperinflation occurring in real time. According to Breedlove, his model places Bitcoin to trade at 12.5 million specifically by the year 2031, a value equivalent to $1 million based on today's purchasing power. So do keep that in mind. He said during an appearance on Altcoin Daily on September 13th, quoting Breedlove here, I'm going to stand by that prediction today. I know that the US dollar index is way up recently, but I sort of expect this thing to get volatile before it breaks down. If that is the case, then we have a matching Bitcoin price prediction of 12.5 million US per Bitcoin by the year 2031. So what he's saying, he believes the dollar will lose 12x its value. So he's ultimately saying this prediction will be $1 million at today's value, but by the year 2031, we can expect that to be 12.5 million due to the inflation. Now, he also notes that the dollar is hyperinflated and will potentially drop to zero by 2035, as he shares here in a bold claim. A caveat there is that what would only be 1 million Bitcoin price in 2020 dollars, the purchasing power of 2020 at the time I made the prediction would be equivalent to 1 million in Bitcoin, he added. And furthermore, Breedlove noted that the dollar hits its once it hits the bottom of zero, there will be no need for pricing it in Bitcoin anymore. And interestingly, the former hedge fund manager, his sentiments come during a period when the dollar is running rampant against the most global fiat currencies. And notably, the situation appears to work in Bitcoin's favor as more investors ditch their local currencies to invest into Bitcoin. And consequently, Bitcoin has registered a spike in trading volume that culminated in a high of 42 billion as of September 29th. Now let's discuss a little more this prediction of a $12.5 million Bitcoin price. What are your thoughts surrounding it? Do you feel that this is probable, or this is a pipe dream and Bitcoin will never hit $1 million? Because we seem to have a division in camps of people have different theories, which is all good. So let me know what you think is more likely to occur. And I'm going to check back here in the comments and just see who we have here. 1 million by 2030, Paul says, I like that. Bitbud says by 2030 plus, I dig it, I dig it. Dan says, I play banks with them, fast and oil, gulp drip. If you keep doing live shows, you'll rock it to 100,000 subs very soon. That's the goal, BitBud. I greatly appreciate that. And again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in to this live stream. We do still have more to cover. So yeah, a $1 million Bitcoin price. Let's talk about the Bitcoin halving real quick. The next Bitcoin halving is in 2 years, in 2024. The year following the halving is when the market goes parabolic. So I think realistically, we're going to see a six-figure Bitcoin price during this next halving cycle. Even the stock to flow is predicting a $100,000 Bitcoin between 2024 to 2025. Could it potentially be multiple hundreds of thousands? Absolutely. But I like to keep it conservative and easy numbers. Also consider it's not far-fetched to think that the Bitcoin price can double from the previous all-time high over a 4-year cycle of a halving period. So if we were to just 2x from the previous all-time high of last year in November when we hit 69 grand, we're talking about potentially $138,000 Bitcoin price for this cycle. That can potentially come in 2024, 2025. We have some analysts like Credible Crypto. I covered this recently. He believes it can happen next year. In fact, he's going out on a limb and says he predicts $100,000 plus Bitcoin price in 2023. He said most likely be closer to 150,000-ish. We also have Samson Mao, who running for mayor of Bitcoin City. He's still predicting $100,000 Bitcoin price this year. So we do still have some outliers. We have Max Kaiser. He's been fervent, 220,000 this year, he says, and he's been retweeting, still in play. Granted, he said it last year, it didn't happen, but my point is anything can happen, so I want you to be prepared for all scenarios. Could have a big crash. We can have a big run-up. Things could happen the complete opposite way that we're all anticipating it. So just be prepared for anything so that you are prepared regardless of what happens. BitBud says 90 to 100,000. Dragonflower, we had the perfect storm that dragged us down. We'll see the mountaintop soon. Absolutely. There's no question about it. Shout out to Max. Absolutely. Shout out to Max and Stacy. But let's continue here with where we left off. Let's now discuss, I guess, some Q&A. I'm going to look at we're going to do some live commenting. AMA, you can ask me anything and I'll answer your questions, and we'll also check it out from the previous episode. We'll do the screen share here, and I'll pull up the previous episode, and let's see if we can pull up some of the top comments that we had, and then I'll do the big rundown. And yeah, it'll be cool. So here we go. This was yesterday's show. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. I'm just going to scroll down. A lot of these comments are spam. Unfortunately, it is what it is. The spam bots are taking over YouTube. Pezza wrote, thanks for another great show, JV. You're very welcome. Always a pleasure. And I just want to say, I greatly appreciate the continued comments. That's why I shout you out all the time. I just appreciate the love that you've been showing. Let's see some other comments. There's way too much, KB, there's way too much demand at 17,600, especially below. In my opinion, bad news drives more under 17,600 would be a coiled spring. Okay. Retro Beaver, what a username. Alts are only useful for accumulating more Bitcoin. I definitely understand your perspective. I'm a Bitcoin maxi to a big extent, but I also have some positions that are long-term, specifically for accumulating more Bitcoin as well. So I understand where you're coming from, so I appreciate that comment. Pezza also says, buy land, they're not making it anymore. And as I continue reading some of the top comments from yesterday's episode, if you're live in the flesh with us right now, drop your comment in the live chat. I'm going to be addressing all the live comments. And again, you can ask me anything, so it'll be fun. He put, they're not making anymore. That's right. I mean, a Bitcoin is digital real estate. Michael Saylor has said this many times, and it is scarce, and that's what makes it what it is. Pezza says common sense approach. If you're not hodling Bitcoin, alts, stocks, bonds, etc., you're holding fiat. Think about that. You're holding fiat. The GBP, the British pound, took a 20% dump in no time. There's no fear and greed index for the British pound. This does not mean it is not going to zero. Eventually, Hillinger wrote, the longer Bitcoin doesn't drop below 18.5, the more I feel Bitcoin has bottomed. You make a great point. The longer it holds, you feel more confident. Big Tone put, you just give a big bottom signal today. Your thumbnails are easily crazy bullish. So there you have it. Pezza put, roses are red, violets are blue. I love my Bitcoin. I hope you hodl too. So poetic, brother. So poetic. We have comments from OG, always showing support. Appreciate it. We got more comments from Pezza, but now what I'm going to do is check the live chat, and we're going to check some comments here in the live stream. Yeah, and let me actually switch it up so you can see my face here would actually be more entertaining, right? 9, boom, boom, boom. I'll show this here, and let's do some answers. So, read everything out loud. Matt says 1 Bitcoin equals 1 BTC. You make a great point, because 1 Bitcoin is still equivalent to 1 Bitcoin. So if you never sold your stash, you didn't lose anything regardless of the crypto winter. Great point. Upper Joe Bucks, Dragon True, I don't think that. He put every single thing would be vulnerable. If quantum computers could crack Bitcoin, the whole world would be in trouble. But fortunately, the cryptography in crypto is way far superior than the most advanced supercomputer out there. So thank God for cryptography. I heard it's harder to crack a Bitcoin private key than it is to find a random grain of sand on this planet. Like, it is extremely difficult. So just note that. Your Bitcoin is not getting hacked anytime soon. Tough Cookie put Elon, the bot buyer, will buy. It is crazy, the amount of spam bots on crypto Twitter, but it is what it is. Osgore wrote, Bitcoin can only reach new all-time high when the Fed starts printing USD. This is the dilemma. Well, we know for a fact the Fed will continue to print. Money printer continue to go. That's a given, so there's no doubt there. Oscar also put, nothing matches the beauty of the greenbacks. Bitbud put, as long as the DXY rises, everything, including Bitcoin, will fall. It does seem they're inversely correlated, and when the dollar index drops, Bitcoin and assets continue on their own way, on their own vector as well. So potential big decoupling ahead. What's good, Chris Minka? Welcome to Crypto News Alerts. Live in the flesh. This is no more pre-recorded nonsense. This is me going live, sharing what's going on, so you can see a live price feed, know what's going on in the market, because I know time is of the essence. When I used to have to record and pre-record and edit, I mean, the editing process is an hour nightmare of itself. So by the time I deliver the news in an edited fashion, though it was fast-paced and cool, at the same time, a few hours out of date, whereas now we're in the flesh and live in real time. So I think that'll make a major difference. So hopefully you guys are appreciating it. Modern assumption in financial markets is that the bonds are hedges against stocks. When stocks decline in price, this is called the 60-40 portfolio. This is failing. This was built upon the world of lies. Well, thank you for sharing that. Good to note. Bitcoin Trini, good to see you. Welcome. Good to see you live. Yes, live and in the flesh in real time. Crypto News Alerts 2.0. CNA Pod. Make some noise if you're appreciating the live feed. UK printed more recently and probably more on the horizon. Absolutely. I think they're just going to keep printing money until the wheels fall off. Why wouldn't they? They're just legally stealing money. They're doing it through inflation. The average taxpayer is being robbed, and the average person doesn't even know what's going on. They're probably looking forward to CBDCs for all we know. That's why it's our job to enlighten people about crypto and Bitcoin and be prepared now, way ahead of the curve. Your first live, yeah, this is my first live stream here with Crypto News Alerts. This is the Q&A section. You'll notice a rundown, so every day we'll have different topics to discuss. I'd like to do a wider array of different things. Like today we touched upon Dogecoin, we touched upon the Binance hack, we touched upon XRP, we're going to do our TA. I'm going to have Sentiment Analytics come on soon, do some live TA using their charts, which is really good. I had a session with them earlier today on their platform, and it went really well. The people are loving it. Yes, do smash the likes, fam. And what I'm going to do now, we're going to do the big finish. I'm going to do a rundown of what we just covered here in today's show. And yeah, it was definitely great here. So here we go. In today's show, we discussed first and foremost why the crypto market is down today, the three main factors, including the Federal Reserve interest rate hikes, the persistent threat of regulation, as well as scams and Ponzi's triggered liquidations and repeat blows to investors' confidence. Unfortunately, but it is, what it is. We also discussed Bitcoin and gold facing headwinds amid strengthening dollar. We also discussed FTX and Visa partnering to permit crypto payments in 40 countries with this new partnership, which could help usher in crypto mass adoption. We also discussed Ripple versus XRP and the latest of what's going on in the lawsuit, and hopefully we get a verdict here soon. And if it goes XRP's way, expect the big pump in the XRP market. Naturally, we discussed the BNB hack of $100 million, which is an insane amount around money to hack from the exchange. But the good news is that Binance has it now under control. We also discussed Dogecoin potentially breaking out, especially with Elon Musk purchasing crypto Twitter and potentially making Dogecoin a way, forcing people to buy Dogecoin in order to verify their accounts. That's something he has mentioned in the past, so it wouldn't surprise, nothing seems to surprise me nowadays in crypto Twitter. And we also discussed $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. Dennis Porter threw out there, which inspired me to cover this story of Robert Breedlove discussing a $12.5 million Bitcoin price by the year 2031, which I believe to be accurate, especially considering the halving cycles and the way things typically go in the market. In 2017, I got into crypto. The Bitcoin price ran up from $1,500 when I got involved to $20,000 in 1 year. That was the year after the halving, right? The year after the halving is when we go parabolic. Then 4 years later, we hit a new all-time high of 69,000, eclipsing the old all-time high of 20,000 by 3.5x. If we hypothetically 3.5x again this halving cycle, we're talking about an insane Bitcoin price. Ultimately, 70,000 times 3 is like 200,000 plus. But be more realistic. Things don't always repeat. They tend to rhyme. So more realistic scenario, Bitcoin can 2x very easily, in my opinion, after this halving in 2024, which would put us at approximately $130,000 Bitcoin. I would love to see that. I feel it's inevitable. Is there a guarantee? No. Is this investment advice? Absolutely not. If you're going to invest in Bitcoin, you have to be willing to take the risks just as well as accept the rewards. As Bitcoin can continue to crash from the current levels, we can continue to rise. Nobody knows. It's unexpected. Nobody can predict the future, but that's what makes this also interesting at the end of the day. And that's why I'm so excited for Bitcoin and the future of crypto. If you gain value out of today's show, show some love. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on all notifications. Tell your friends about version 2.0 of Crypto News Alerts. I am out.